Yeah. So what's your feeling on the Super Bowl?
I mean, I guess you should favor the Rams, but it's one of those things where they concern me a little bit with, some of the decisions McVay makes with Stafford possibly throwing an interception. Is Cam Akers going to start fumbling the ball? Is some weird stuff going to happen? Like, I don't know. So I guess you favor them, but I mean, you know, Cincinnati somehow has figured out a way to get here. Like, I don't know. Their offensive line's still not very good. So if they can run the ball, though, because I guess the Rams against the run aren't as good as they are against the pass. So I guess if you can run the ball, then maybe things will work out. It'll be interesting. It might be one of those games where we get later into it and it's like, all right, who wants to win this game? Who's going to make a play? And we're just kind of waiting around for somebody to do something. So it seems, hopefully it's a good game. I think it has a potential to be a good game. But yeah, I mean, the Rams probably should go into this thinking we should win this game. If we're on our game and playing as well as we can, we should win because they have more talent. It's pretty clear to me that they're the more talented team.
Yeah, and they are favored in the game. Yeah, I agree with you. I think the matchup for me comes down to the Rams defensive line against the Bengals offensive line, and if their defensive line plays like they did against San Francisco, it's going to be really tough for the Bengals to beat them because the Bengals can't run the ball as well as San Francisco can, and it's an issue. And it was an issue for the Bengals against Tennessee, and Kansas City doesn't have as good a pass rush as Tennessee or the Rams do. So they're going to deal with a different animal in this game. But that being said, Stafford will throw the ball to the other team at least once. It just depends on whether they catch it or not.
Cincinnati's going to have to. They're going to have to. They're going to have to steal a possession or two, maybe. I mean, just to kind of flip things and give themselves more of an advantage. So yeah, but the thing is, what's funny is like the Rams almost, I feel like, have more of a margin for error because they can just, Stafford can make a big play with Odell Beckham. He can make a play with Cooper Kupp. They might be able to run the ball. Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen it in these playoffs. When the Rams have needed a play, Stafford has delivered it for them.
Right.
So,
right.
I hope it's a good game. And, I think if I'm pulling for the Rams, I need them to be up double digits in the second half. If this game's close in the fourth quarter, I kind of like Cincinnati. Cincinnati's got some kind of momentum, mojo, whatever you want to say. They have something, and the Rams have almost blown, these playoff games.
Of averages, the Rams will have a good fourth quarter. I don't know.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So I think we're pretty lucky. This has been a pretty much wide open playoffs. I mean, I wouldn't have predicted Bengals against the Rams in the Super Bowl, and I don't think most other people would either.
Yeah, well, I mean, and remember the Chiefs, they probably should have lost to the Bills. I mean, the Bills probably could have,
Right, that's kind of what I thought.
Watching the AFC Championship game going, are you kidding me? We could have destroyed the Bengals.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. When that game went into overtime, and I thought, you know what? The Chiefs should have lost last week to Buffalo. So the fact that, they're in another overtime game.
Well, what did you think about this talking point started getting passed around a little bit? That Mahomes is never going to win another Super Bowl. And I'm just like, all right, just slow down. He's still really good. They had a really good year. They lost in overtime. Come on, slow down. Was Mahomes maybe trying to do a little too much? Yeah, but I mean, they were still up 21 to. If Kansas City's defense had tackled Burrow a couple of those times and didn't let him escape, then, maybe we're talking about the Chiefs in the Super Bowl again. So, everybody needs to kind of slow. I mean, granted, there is a lot that goes into winning a Super Bowl, and there is a lot of luck and a lot of different things that play into it because it's really difficult. So, is it possible that he might never? I mean, yeah, sure, but I mean, you're telling me they're not going to be right there with all these other teams in the AFC? For instance, the Bengals, it'd be great for them to win the Super Bowl this year, but I think the onus is more on the Rams because of the way they've been all in this year. You know, the Bengals, their offensive line isn't even that good. They still need to build that up. You know, and they probably need more playmakers on offense and defense too. So, you know, they're not the fully realized vision of the Bengals that you would expect to be in the Super Bowl. So, but yeah, what did you think of that Mahomes talking point?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it. I mean, I think it's ridiculous that they lost that game. I just feel like but that being said, that's 4 straight AFC Championship games. I mean, Brady went to 14.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, yeah, he would. The idea that he wouldn't get more opportunities to even get to the Super Bowl, I think, is ridiculous. But yeah, it is kind of like, do you view it as kind of an underachievement that they've won 1 Super Bowl in the last 4 years? Considering like they lost the AFC Championship game to the Patriots because the guy lined up offside, and then last year, I mean, well, they had some injuries on the offensive line, but and then this year, like, they probably should have won that game. So it's kind of like, I feel like if they'd gotten 2, then it'd be like, okay, great, but you only get 1 out of this. I mean, granted, you got 1, that's great, but it does kind of feel like, if people are talking about can Mahomes like catch Brady in Super Bowls or catch him in terms of the debate about who's the greatest quarterback, that's really disappointing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like that's going to be a battle in the AFC. You can see it. Mahomes, Allen, Joe Burrow, and Justin Herbert. It seems like it's going to be really hard to get back there, especially in the division that they're in.
Right.
So it seems like it's going to be a challenge. Is it an underachievement? I don't know. I feel like I guess when they lost to the Patriots in the AFC Championship game, I guess that's a little bit of a
that's pretty.
That's kind of the rough one. I mean, last year against Tampa, they weren't going to beat Tampa no matter what they did.
Yeah.
And this year it just caught up to them. Like, you could see it. They probably should have lost to Buffalo, and it doesn't surprise me that they lost the next week. You know what I mean? It's hard to. It's just it's really hard to do. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not into the disappointment thing, but I do think they will get other opportunities when you have a quarterback that good and you have a coach that good.
I mean, it would have been more disappointing if they didn't even get 1. Right. That would have been horrible. Not getting 2, you can quibble over that, but they had 4 pretty good opportunities. They got 1, so that's how difficult it is to win the Super Bowl. So
yep.